What's up guys, Jivan back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over a lot of stuff related to W King. We're going to be going over good ways to engage into fights, how to push people's boxes, when to disengage, how to engage in fights, how to rotate, how to handle third parties, and more. Before we hop into it, please consider using code JivanTV in the Fortnite item shop, or at least make sure you're using somebody's code because it helps us out a ton. Without further ado, let's get into this video. So for this video, we're going to be taking a look at a 17 kill win I got. This is a great game to look at because I was able to start and end a ton of fights really quickly, which is the goal. When you start a fight, you want to be able to end it as soon as possible. So this first dude was in the alien zone of Holly, and when they're in that zone, usually their audio is kind of messed up, so they don't know exactly where they're getting shot from. So I just got a cheeky angle through the window and then cleaned it up outside afterwards. That was an easy win at Holly. After that, I rotate over to Weeping and I see somebody who sees me as well. So I started out by kind of feeling out the situation. I see them crank up over top of me. So in this situation, I went back the other way. I could have just built up straight to him, but I saw an opportunity to get him pieced up from this direction. After I get that big first shot, I just slip a ramp in their box with the Noah Rayleigh phase trick and he falls to his death. Ripperoonie, my friend. Then I'm just rotating some more and I get shot at from behind. They didn't hit a single shot on me, so I get up over top of them right away. And when they box up, I see they have nothing in their box, so of course I slip a ramp in there. A little mistake I made was pre-boxing out the left. You can see they have their right wall open, so if I would have taken some more time with this play, I could have pre-boxed them out that side instead. Regardless, I just got on another one of their walls, did the same thing. They weren't putting anything in their box, so in that type of situation, I just keep putting ramps through their walls. This time their back wall was open, so I'm just rotating around their box until I get this cone over top of him and then get him boxed out the back. Little replay of the trick I used here. I see him building a ramp up and he has no cone over top of him. So by aiming my crosshair over his wall here, I'm able to get a cone over top of him and block off his momentum in that direction. When you block somebody on a ramp, usually they just turn around, so I got him boxed out the back, dodged his shot for the most part, and finished it quickly. So next up we have an interesting and important situation. So I was able to get this guy boxed because he was standing right up against my wall, right? But this fight was taking place in the center of the map. This part of the map is third party central. So before I even make moves on my opponent, I make sure to make a whole box around me so I can't get beamed. And then he traded pumps with me at the end, so I'm weak after finishing that fight. And I hear some footsteps starting to approach. So I get out the back and start healing up while I'm on the run, and I branch out to start this fight. When I'm starting with a health disadvantage, I want to make sure I have room to move and I'm safe in my box. This is a more defensive fighting playstyle. I'm waiting for him to mess up, and as soon as I see an opportunity to strike, I do. So at this point I was really healthy because I was playing safe in my box, healing up, and now it's my time to attack. Once he drops down like this, I see his movement going out the side, so I just box up that side and it's a free fight. The important thing to note in that fight is that I knew exactly what to do. It was a little bit of a sketchy situation, but a lot of people don't know how to approach that type of fight. I stayed calm, I made it hard for the opponent to push me, and then once I got healthy, that's when I start looking for my opponent's weak points, and I struck back fast, caught them off guard with my defensive aggressive playstyle, and finished the fight. You just gotta stay calm in those situations, make sure you give yourself room to move and heal up, and that'll give you a better chance. So this next fight, I saw this dude building up really confidently, so I just do the same. I actually got a cone over top of him right here, but as soon as I did that, I heard a third party, and so I just box up and branch out. The third party was literally just trying to psycho in my box right away, so I calmed down, I gave myself room to move and to feel out the situation. Once I saw the third party box up down low, I went for a move on the top guy. I tried to get a quick box on the opponent, I got a little tag on him, went for his wall, and that's when I actually heard the third party from down low start to chop us out. As I expected, I was listening for that. So at this point, I drop down to a middle layer, and I'm just being very aware of what's going on around me. I'm looking for one of them to expose themselves because both of them are probably looking for a free kill right here and probably wouldn't expect me to be lurking on a middle layer. Sure enough, I got a big hit on this guy and was able to finish that fight up fast when I took his wall here. However, whenever there's a third party around, you gotta be ready for them to third party immediately after the fight ends. So I didn't even spend much time looting, I just got out of there right away, branched out, and felt out the situation again. In this situation, I heard two other players start build fighting, and so I went up there to see if I could get a free pick. When you hear two people fighting on height, you can make a quick strike on them to see if you can get one really quickly. So I just went up there fast, tried to piece control one of them, and one actually tries to psycho me here, which I was prepared for. All I had to do was hit my shots because he literally jumped in my face. Free kill right there. However, I was trapped in a bunch of old builds, and like I just said, when you finish a fight when there's another player around, you gotta be ready for them to psycho, so I got out of there and reboxed. Notice how all of these fights I'm starting in my own box, nice and safe, trying to read the situation. This is a good way to kind of scout it out and see if there's any free opportunities to strike. In this situation, I don't really see a safe opportunity to fight, mainly because my mats aren't the best, so I just get out of there and farm up a bit. Once I get my brick back to max, that's when I'm able to start looking for a fight again. I hit a launch and I'm scouting out the area. I see two people fighting, kind of isolated from everybody else. That's an important factor to keep in mind when pushing up to a fight. If it's isolated and there's nobody else really around it, you have a chance to end that fast before more people show up to the fight. And in this situation, when I showed up, they kind of both just split from each other, so I just tried to take them out as fast as possible, one at a time, and I was able to do that. Both of these players seemed really scared of the third party, which made it pretty easy for me to clean it up, because as soon as the third party showed up, they both kind of just disengaged from the fight, so it was kind of like two separate one-on-one box fights. Next fight was super sketchy though. So I roll up to this bush, there's somebody in it, okay, that's fine. But at first when I get him piece controlled here, I don't set up the best right hand peek when going for it, so he deals a lot of damage to me. I disengage, I heal up, and I go right back at it again. Now here's a good example of what not to do. If you're in late game like this and you're in the center of the zone like we are, don't start build fighting because you're gonna get fried. There's people all around you with eyes on you, and this is not the fight to take. So I ended up just disengaging from that, and obviously he's gonna follow me up because he has a major health advantage. And so I just start tunneling, playing in my builds, looking for cheeky angles, and eventually I deal some damage, get him to go heal, and then I just disengage more from the fight. Lesson learned, don't build fight in this zone unless if you're gonna do it in a safe way, protecting your angles. So after that mess of a fight, I just take time to get healthy again so that I can start another fight. This one was just absolutely free, not really sure what was going on there, but we'll take it. Following that free little fight, I just boxed up and read the situation a little more, tried to see where I could push, and then I push over this guy who's boxed up, and I push over in a safe way. And then I hear them fighting on low ground, and I show up right as they finish fighting to get a free kill. If you ever hear people in a box with each other just spraying each other like crazy, that's a free kill as long as if there's not another third party around, because if somebody else is planning to jump in, you're not going to want to be trapped in all of those builds when the fourth party shows up. All in all, that was a good fight to take, and we start looking for another. So I managed to find somebody that's hiding in these builds, and so check how I push now. This is the best way to push a boxed player. As you can see, I have a cone in front of his wall, a wall in between me and his box, so if he edits on me, I can reset that wall. He ends up going for a peek here, I take a shot and reset my wall to block his, and then when he resets his metal, I go for that wall right away. That's the best way to push a box in late game. He ends up getting away with this launch pad, but I go up into the builds to search for him because I know he's up there somewhere, and it's all fully built brick and metal, so it's not likely to get chopped out. I managed to find him and hit him with the classic Noah Rayleigh ramp phase trick, pre-fire out the side. He had nothing in his box, so I slip a ramp in there, get off to his side where I predict he's going to edit out, and just get ready to pre-fire him when he edits out that side. Works like a charm. Next fight was sketchy as poop, man. This guy was a psycho. I was box fighting him, and he just jumped in my box with a P90. Luckily, I aim trained that day, so we won that. At this point, I have so many launch pads, so I just look for another fight. I see somebody running in the open, and when I see that, I just try to land on them. I swear, just landing on unsuspecting players in late game is one of the best ways to pick up kills. So at this point in the game, I'm on the front side of moving zone, so this is not the worst place to fight. So I start looking for a box fight scenario with this guy. I get a nice pre-fire, but this player really wasn't looking to engage and do a full-on fight with me, so I just start looking around for the other players. I was just camping behind an angle here waiting for people to rotate to me, got a nice hit, and then I was gonna launch all the way to front side of zone here, but I saw a pile of loot, so I went to refresh my mats. And at this point, I was so stacked that I just tried to start fragging out on the backside of zone. So I was trying to get an angle on this dude, and I actually took his wall, but then he just charged at me, and I almost threw this game, dude, until he just dies to the storm. At this point, I just burned a ton of mats, so I just gotta play smart here, and so I just quickly launch to the front side of zone, look for opportunities to hold the opponents. However, one launch is ahead of zone, and so I just start to look for a play because I need a refresh. I'm not gonna win the game with the amount of mats I have, so I had gotten some good damage dealt to this guy, so I'm trying to get in, but he keeps tunneling away, so I don't want to cycle all the way through his builds because he's just gonna be waiting for a pre-fire at some point. So I reposition on this player, the other one's just on height doing nothing, and I'm able to get a really nice play on this guy. So I saw him healing up in here, and then I don't get his wall first try, so I start backing up into the other box. I pre-fire him while placing the wall, and then I'm able to just jump in and finish it. Perfect fight right there. At this point, I have a crazy amount of mats, so I just full on build fight the guy on high ground and hit him with a stylish finish. Hopefully this helped you guys understand a little bit better how to approach fights in Arena. You really just gotta play off the other players and make sure you're analyzing the situations. If this helped you out, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, use code JivanTV in the item shop, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.